Would you ever do a story about polygamy? But being a woman who has
who dabbled in it?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you dabble?
Yeah.
How is that?
Amazing.
Oh,
amazing. But
Neil
I'll tell
out here
you,
stealing your thunder though. Neil think he the guy now.
well, he, listen. He didn't have the thunder because he's doing it for a whole different reason. Let me say this since we're bringing it up. My space in it, honestly, is because since I've been exposed to different cultures, and different religious and spirit practices around the world, my thing is I haven't found a lot of men in America who are really appealing to me spiritually, physically, emotionally, mentally. So my thing is I've got the athlete that I hang out with, I've got the spirit that I pray with, I've got the person that's adventurous that I travel with. So it's more lifestyle than it is the sexual connection for me. Now my heart and my soul is actually monogamous. Because I can't find
What the fuck?
I don't stop. Was me trying monogamy again. And a large part of me was bored.
I'm praying too. When you do all of this stuff,
Whoever she believes in.
who is it? Because I want more information surrounding that. She's monogamous in her soul, but she getting a train ran off for her 50th, bragging about it. Now she's 62, into this polyamory, but tried a monogamous relationship, but she was bored. That's why you're bored.
And she said she went out the country to find a man to align with her spiritually because there wasn't here an African American. But yeah, you couldn't find an African American somewhere else who can travel and align with you spiritually.
So I think the monogamous in her soul, I think that is her saying she wished she could find that one person to do everything with. Like that's what she really, really wants. So I think that's what she meant by monogamous to her soul. Like she yearns for that. I don't take that away from her. So
like an open relationship, you're saying?
No.
No. She wishes she could find a man who can fit all the criteria that she has for a man. A man who could tick off all the boxes. Because the ladies usually have like a list of 1,000 things they want in a man. They want him to be tall. They want him to be rich. They want him to be funny. They want him to be emotionally available. They want him to be loyal. He can't cheat, but he should be able to listen to her problems. They want him to act like her girlfriend. They want a man to cook for her. Like they want him to bring flowers to call her. So they want one man to fit all these criteria. And honestly, I think one of the reasons they can't stay with one man is because they realize they can't find all those things they want in one man. So what they do, they'll have the rich guy. He may be boring, but they'll have the pookie here who, gives her the emotional roller coaster. And then they'll have the guy who's the Uber guy because he gives her free rides. And they have the guy with a dick because, he gives her some nice sex. And then they'll have the guy who flies her out because he likes to spend money on her. So they'll have several guys who fit different criteria because they can't have everything in one man.
No, she wished she had one person to travel with, pray with, do all these things that she says she has different guys for. But she hasn't been able to find that, so that's why
because she's had too many experiences that trumped the next. And when the bar is set so high in all these different areas, the likelihood of any one person checking them all off is so low. That's why there's a piece of you that should not have exposure to certain things, right? And
piece is that?
I mean, like if you're trying to get monogamous, you shouldn't have exposure to hundreds of partners. You shouldn't have exposure to so many different types of. I don't want to say spirit because spiritual can kind of be tricky depending on what you can learn and lean towards and what you align with. But when you have, like, for example, in her case, so many different experiences and so much exposure in different areas, and this guy might be able to pray with you better over here, and this guy may be able to fuck you better over here, and this guy might be able to travel with you over here, and this guy's an athlete, so he's just, has more stamina than all the rest. Now you're sitting here looking at yourself, and you're like, I don't know who to pick because one is better in one area than the other. Now,
Yeah, that usually happens, when they have so many different men. Cause she's gonna date Boogie. I'm gonna take her to Wendy's. I'm gonna take her to McDonald's, and then she's gonna date the next guy who's gonna take her to Ruth Chris and a 5-star restaurant. But usually, after the 5-star restaurant guy, she's gonna find it very hard to go back to a guy like Boogie, who's gonna take her to McDonald's, cause she's gonna think, since one time I dated a guy who was taking me to expensive dinner dates, that's my new standard. So every time you hear a woman talking about I know my worth now, usually that means she has either dated, met, or wants to meet a man who's going to take her to the next level. Usually they talk about the next level. Usually a man who's willing to take her to all these expensive, luxurious lifestyle type of activities. So she finds it very hard to come back to the average guy.
I don't even know which area. That's the crazy part. She doesn't even know which area matters most to her.
Mm-hmm.
But she can't even decide and pick
She
one.
wants it all.
See,
Like the travel one.
I didn't get that from her, and I'm sorry. She kind of put me on her side with this because realistically, I think when we get into a relationship with somebody, we do remember our past, regardless of we want the same thing from our past. But we're not.
compare.
Nobody on this panel is with somebody that is everything that they want.
That's
Sorry.
called gluttony.
You can call it whatever the fuck you want.
How's that
call it
gluttony?
let's just
Because
call
it's
it
greed.
Okay.
How?
Because you want everything, but
Yeah.
everything is not possible.
Well, you just said that she's having issues being monogamous because
She's had too much experience.
she wants
Yes.
these things. But what I guess what's wrong with desiring your person to be able to? Because I think most people do desire that.
But they don't speak.
Yeah, but no one is perfect. I don't care how you even if you're a man, you want her to have a big booty, you want her to be submissive, you want her to be able to cook for you, you want her to be able to not argue with you, you don't want her to be a headache, you want her to respect you. Like you're never gonna meet a woman as a man who fits all those criteria. Especially as a man, because men have to approach. Now, if you're like Chris Brown or Drake, sure, I guess you can have those high standards because you have plenty of women who want you. But as an average guy, you can't have those crazy standards. So, because at some point, you're going to realize you're never going to find a perfect woman. So as men, we know we can't find a perfect woman. We have to get, you get what you can get and you have to settle. But as the ladies, they claim they don't want to settle because they want all these things in one guy. They pretty much want a perfect guy, the one they saw in the Disney movies, and it's never going to happen. But they keep wishing and hoping. Every 5 years, they think they deserve a better guy. They deserve a better guy than they wanted at 30. They become 40, they want a better guy. They want it, it gets worse. But it's like, you're never going to find a perfect guy.
About it.
Well, I spoke
And
with
then
Marie.
you go home and you pretend that this woman is everything, and you're sitting there lying to her, and she's lying to you. She's lying to you to fucking feed your ego when she's been with a bunch of other dudes and you ain't it.
Right.
I spoke to Marie about this, and I said we were actually having a conversation about like what is a person's biggest downfall, and I told her my opinion is desire is a person's biggest downfall, because when you desire something too much, it can actually lead you astray from actually what keeps you grounded. So, for example, it's okay to live without, and I think that's what we got to start to normalize. It's okay to live without the experience of traveling all over the world. Maybe you just travel 1 or 2, 3 countries. It's okay to live without the experience of having the most magnificent sexual experience to the point where you have to go get a train ran on you for your 50th, right? It's okay to live without some of these different experiences, but everybody has the FOMO, and that's actually deteriorating their soul, their morals, and literally putting them in a position where they're forced to accept a life that they do not want, such as her saying she's monogamous in her soul, but she can't find the balance within it to accept that discipline that it requires to be monogamous.
So you heard that she didn't like her life?
I heard that she.
Actually,
I heard that she.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, like she.
I didn't.
Because if you say I'm monogamous in my soul, then you ultimately desire monogamy, but she can't get it.
I think
But
that
she's
she desires it because of her age. And that's what we have been traditionally taught to desire. But it goes against what she really wants.
I disagree with that, because if she desired it for her age, she would have changed for her age. I think what actually happens is she desires something that she knows she doesn't qualify for. And because she knows she doesn't qualify for it, it's better for her to just accept her fate and live the way that she's living now than trying to reprogram somebody else to believe that she isn't what she is, even including herself.
What do you mean? What doesn't she qualify for?
Like she may not qualify for the tall guy who's rich, who's gonna take on different trips, who's a sweet guy, who's gonna buy her flowers, who has good dick, who's like, she may not qualify for the guy who has all those, you know, different standards that she may have on her list. Because even at her age, I'm sure her standards are still crazy.